Hey, it's George. This is just going to be another vinyl finds. I don't have as many as usual, so it might be shorter. I'm going to Seattle next week on a trip to go to a few record stores because I don't get up there very much. So I haven't bought as much, and there's just not really been as much stuff that's good. So I hope this isn't too short or isn't too boring. I hope it's, Anyway, the first two are both by the same artist. And this first one, this has been shown in the VC a lot lately. I think Cosmic Brian showed this not too long ago, and I feel like someone else showed this. Was it Nick's Vinyl Buddy? I don't know. But this is an original. I got this really cheap on eBay. I think it was $12. That's not without shipping and tax, but I remember the shipping was really cheap. And this is a great album. This is just, standard US on Atco, but certainly every song on side one. Me, I Disconnect From You, Our Friends Electric, The Mockmen is really good. It almost has like it has a little bit of a T-Rexy guitar riff to it. And I was really surprised how much guitar this album has. And I mean, it's not like, it's obviously more synth heavy, but I guess I think of stuff like Pleasure Principle and Telecon as kind of his sound, and not having and not really having any guitars. But it does have quite a few. Praying to the Aliens is great. Down in the Park is great. I do think I like side one a lot better than side two, but this is a really great album, and I was really happy to find it for really cheap. It's been on my want list for a while, but I don't know. There's some stuff like this where, I mean, it's collectible, sure, but I mean, Our Friends Electric was a #1 song. It shouldn't be like a $30 record used. I'm not going to pay that much for it. So I was happy to find it for cheap. And this one I got for the same, I think pretty much the same price. And not as good as that one, but I still enjoy it. And that's I can't hardly say that. The Pleasure Principle. The Pleasure Principle. And I do like this album too. Oh, I didn't show on this. This has the original inner on the Replicas album, which is pretty cool. And this is good too. This has the original inner, and like I said, this isn't as good as Replicas. I still like it. I don't think it's as consistent. Airplane is a good instrumental. Cars, obviously, Metal was good. But for me, the standout song on this is the third song on side one, Complex. It almost has kind of heavy strings at the beginning, and then it kind of goes into, his... it starts getting a little synthy, but it's a pretty slow song, and it's really great. I've read about quite a lot about him lately, and how how people labeled him as a Bowie ripoff, and how Bowie didn't like him, how Bowie refused to play with him. But I really think calling him a Bowie ripoff is not giving him enough credit. I mean, there is a lot of Bowie influence in his vocals, and there is certainly a lot of glam guitar in ways on this album, like I said, Mockmen. But I just don't think that's giving him enough credit. I mean, this album I really was absolutely blown away by this. So yeah, 2 Gary Newman records. The next couple are from thrift stores, actually. I don't know, people might not find these interesting, but I like them. I like Novelty records if you've, watched much before. And this one is really cool. This one is a Sesame Street single, and it's Ernie and Bert, Just Three Colors, sung by Big Bird and Oscar, and marching songs sang by Big Bird, Ernie and Bert, and everybody. And this one is really cool. As a boy, that's really 70s looking, isn't it? But it's actually a gatefold, and it has these weird little color wheels that you're supposed to punch out and put together to make, there's like clear translucent plastic there, and like figure out what colors go together to make new colors. And they're unpunched, they're still in there, and you get kind of a cool illustration. And so yeah, this was, you know, $2. You don't see Sesame Street singles very much, especially, so yeah. This next one is a guilty pleasure, but I do really like him a lot, and that's Tom Jones. Once again, these next three are all thrift store finds, and this was $1. And I've had this album before, but my copy was kind of beat up, and this was a lot. The vinyl is really pretty clean. Locally, a record store has been donating some, you know, common overstock to St. Vincent de Paul, and so that's where I found these. So this was in that lot, and to be honest, I haven't listened to this yet, but I've listened to I have a greatest hits comp and that Green Grass at Home album, and I do really like, you know, his stuff as corny as it is. And who can, I mean, that is just such a fantastically terrible album cover. It's great. These next two are novelty ones, and this one I haven't listened to yet either, to be honest. But I came across a copy of this quite a while ago, and I sold it, and I kind of regretted it. And that's All of the Family. This is too funny to not keep. I did have I found a Hogans Heroes record, and my guitar teacher is really into Hogans Heroes, so I gave that to him. That was before I found this, but they just kind of reminded me of each other. And this is really, once again, this is like the vinyl on this is like it's never been played. So yeah. And then this next one, the cover was so weird and, you know, bizarre as far as novelty records. And I've read about these kind of records before. You know, they were sold under the table, and they're really not that raunchy or racy or anything. And that's Bud Fletcher Returns to the Outhouse, I think Volume 2, America's Foremost Cajun Entertainer, and then it says censored for adults only. And this is very mild nowadays. I mean, this came out, this has got to be early 60s, late 50s, something like that. But it's on this kind of weird label, and it's just this guy with a very thick kind of Cajun, almost French sounding accent, talking about very, you know, things that are sexual but very tame nowadays, you know, and lots of innuendos. And it's not explicit at all. It's really funny to think that this was at one point controversial, and it says not licensed for airplay, and you had to like buy it under the table, and good Lord. Anyway, so I thought that was funny, and I do really like the cover illustration. I think that's pretty great. This next one is one my friend gave me, and he was moving and he found this, and this is the first Oingo Boingo EP. I already had a copy. Mine was really, as you can see, I got mine for cheap, and it had a ton of water damage, and it's all split out, and, you know, so this is a lot better condition, and I think I'm gonna trade this one with someone for a Fear single and a couple other things. Anyway, I was it's nice to have an upgrade for this. I think this is the best thing that they ever put out. You get this version only, Lad, Violent Love, Ain't This the Life, and I'm So Bad. And I think this and their first record are the best things they ever put out. This is on just that standard IRS label. And for my other copy that I'm going to keep with this one, I swapped the, how do you say, you know, interior sleeves, inner sleeves, because my beat up copy did have this inner sleeve, and it's like an IRS kind of a promotional, get the IRS on your back, it's advertising t-shirt. So I thought I'd keep that with this one and swap the sleeves. So yeah, but that was very nice of him. That was a lot better condition than mine. And then these next two are from the same record store here in town, and they were, I think, along with that Two Boy Army, my best finds lately. And the first one, this is a 2014 reissue. This is The Rats' second album, Indeterminate Signals. The guy from The Rats is Fred Cole, and he was in The Lollipop Shop, and then The Rats, and then there might have been one other between there. Dead Moon, Pierced Arrows, a couple other bands that I can't think of the name of. But this is his kind of, Fred Cole's kind of, you know, I guess foray into punk. And this is pretty inconsistent, to be honest. This originally came out in 1981. And you get Fred Cole on lead guitar and vocal, Tootie, his wife, who is also in Dead Moon and Pierced Arrows with him, on bass and vocals on 2 songs, and then the drummer Sam Henry, obviously on drums, and then vocal on 1 song. Sometimes Fred Cole's voice does get a little grating to me. I like Dead Moon a lot. I like Lollipop Shop a lot. But he gets a little kind of, you know, a little, I can't explain, but the songs that Tootie sings on, Daddy's in the Shadows and Defiance, are really good. And the song that Sam Henry plays on, Contradictions, is really good. And there is some good songs with Fred Cole on it. Nightmare's great. What's the other one? Nightline, Wanna Be Your Man. Kids Are Kids was good. So this is a good album. Just kind of very more on the garagey side of punk. But yeah, this is their second album from 1981. So yeah. And then what I think is the best find that I was so excited about, and it did cost me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, I paid $30 for it, which is a lot for me for a single. But it was too cool, and I don't know when I'm gonna see one again. And see, I'm just saying all these things to rationalize it. But they did have 2 of them, which is kind of weird. They got in a same store I got the Rats at, got in a huge lot of Estra singles, and they look new, unplayed. I really think that it was probably someone who worked for Estras, sold the store some stuff, and most of it was 20 and up. There was a couple things I was gonna get, but then I saw this and I put them down, and that's the Fabulous Mummies. This is their Whalers cover, and it's Out of Our Tree, backed with a Tall Cool One. And this is obviously a parody of, is it their first album? It's a parody of one of the Whalers album covers, good lord. And the back cover is a parody of the Out of Our Tree album cover. And this is on a subsidiary of Estras called Estras Crust. And there's the label. It's the vinyl on this is really, really immaculate. It's like it's never been played. It's got kind of a cool label on there of the Mummies playing, and then it came with Estrus Records mail order thing, and join the on the other side it says join the Estrus Crust Club, which I think was kind of like their version of like the Sub Pop Singles Club, you know, where you send them money and you get a certain limited edition single every month. And this is just awesome. I mean, I don't think the Mummies have, from what I've heard, they don't have a bad song, really. And obviously this is a cover, but this version, Out of Our Tree, is so, I mean, you know, they're a lo-fi band, but it is really, really just echoey and bad quality, and the singer for the Mummies just screams and screams, and you know, his wails on this are really great, and they do a really good cover of Tall Cool, and so I was really happy to find this. This is the only Mummies I have. So anyway, yeah, that was it. I blabbered on for almost 17 minutes. Thanks for watching. I haven't been able to, I don't know, I just haven't felt like making a video in a while, and I just haven't had too many ideas, and so anyway, I'll probably do a recent listens and Midlife Crisis Rants as a contest, so I'll probably enter that. But anyway, I'll shut up. Thanks for watching. I hope this was somewhat entertaining, and yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.